Jobbers, or local competitors, are usually wrestlers whose names don't carry any star power. This isn't always the case though. Some of those random performers who appear for one night just to get beaten up are actually related to hugely popular wrestlers. Let's dig through the archives and take a look. After saving Daniel Bryan from a post-match attack by Mark Henry on a 2011 episode of SmackDown, Big Show got ready for a match of his own. The Giant took on 3 local wrestlers, one of whom was related to the 2-time Divas champion, Paige. The competitor in the black trunks is named Zack Zodiac, as the brother of the Anti-Diva. Zodiac and his teammates started off okay, but a chop and a chokeslam were enough to put Paige's sibling away. Unfortunately for Zack, this did not lead to a WWE contract. Before he was handing out bootios and pancakes, Big E was destroying people down in NXT. On November 7th of 2012, the future New Day member got into the ring with a man named Mimo Montenegro. While he didn't enter with a car or a personal ring-announcer, Montenegro was actually the brother of Alberto Del Rio. While his sibling was a 2-time WWE champion, Mimo didn't fare so well and was quickly taken out by Big E. Montenegro had one more televised match in NXT, and his opponent was, ironically, Xavier Woods. While this match was a bit more competitive, the end result was still the same. Sadly, Mimo Montenegro never got to wrestle against the final New Day member, Kofi Kingston. About a month after Dolph Ziggler won the World Heavyweight Championship, back when Ziggler won world titles, his younger brother Bradley Pierce was debuting on NXT. Pierce took on Sakamoto, but only about a minute in, and Conor O'Brien interrupted and laid out both competitors. The next week, Bradley teamed up with his former opponent to try and take down O'Brien. Even though the advantage was in the hands of the show-off's brother, he still walked away in defeat. 2 weeks after that, Bradley Pierce had his final NXT match as one of the participants in an 18-man battle royal. Unfortunately, Pierce was the second wrestler eliminated after his former tag partner Sakamoto. What's funny is that this match aired almost 2 weeks after Bradley Pierce announced his release from the company. Kind of a shame. I was interested to see where Pierce and Sakamoto's tag team could have gone, but then again, Bradley did kind of look and perform like an off-brand Dolph Ziggler. On the SmackDown after WrestleMania 24, Vladimir Kozlov made his WWE debut against a ponytailed man named Matt Bentley. While it certainly wasn't brought up on commentary, Bentley's cousin had just competed at WrestleMania 5 nights earlier, that being Shawn Michaels. Yep, the man who was fed to WWE's latest Russian star was related to one of the greatest wrestlers of all time. As you'd expect, Matt Bentley took a decent amount of abuse before being laid out for the pin. It's worth mentioning too that Bentley had a handful of WWE matches in the early 2000s with much of the same results. After defeating The Miz and Damien Mizdow on the last Raw of 2014, the Ascension walked into the new year looking to keep their momentum going. That wasn't going to be too hard, as on the January 2nd episode of SmackDown, they took on 2 local competitors. One of Conor and Victor's opponents was Lance Anawahi, and his cousins are the Usos and Roman Reigns. On top of that, being a member of the Anawahi family, he has a relation to just about every Samoan wrestler who's ever been in WWE. Lance didn't start as the legal man, and probably wished it stayed that way, because as soon as he was tagged in, he was hit by a splash and the fall of man before getting pinned. Well, 2 years later, in 2017, the Samoan wrestler got another shot when he appeared on NXT, wearing almost exactly the same attire he wore 2 years ago. While just about everything else was different, the end result was still the same. The cousin of Jimmy, Jay, and Roman was quickly taken down by one half of the Authors of Pain, Razor. AOP dished out a bit more punishment before hitting the last chapter for the victory. Jump ahead another 2 years and Lance appeared on Raw. While feuding with Roman Reigns, Shane McMahon challenged a member of Reigns' family to a match. It was Lance Anawahi who answered the call, but considering what happens next, he probably should have let it go to voicemail. Drew McIntyre got the drop on Lance before the bell rang and softened up the Anawahi member. Once the match did begin, Shane McMahon had it pretty easy. Despite the unfair advantage, Lance made a comeback and got a bit of offense in, but McMahon ultimately won the match. The pain continued though, as Shane and Drew followed up with another attack on Lance. Finally, Roman Reigns intervened and sent his adversaries packing before checking on his cousin. So which relation surprised you the most? For me, it was probably Dolph Ziggler's brother Bradley Pierce, since I never knew the show had a younger sibling, much less one that was a wrestler. Leave your answer in the comments, and give the video on the right a watch for some more fun. I'm Zach from Tap Out Corner, and take it easy.